everyone, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. It's a time that we can relax and craft together for about an hour, and I work on projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole process. So we are continuing the Triangle Tango Quilt from Missouri Star Quilt Co. Here is what the finished quilt is going to look like. We are doing it very similar. We have the white background like that, and we are sewing together rows. So we actually have all of our rows done. Here we go. This is row 12. And now we're just sewing them together so we can get a quilt top going. So I'm taking the single rows now and sewing one row to another. We'll do all the singles to make them doubles. And then from there, we'll make the doubles 4 and until we got the whole quilt top done. So we just did one set of rows on Friday, and I thought we'd just continue with that a little bit. I've been seeing everyone else's finished Triangle Tango Quilt in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, and I'm super jealous and want to get mine a little bit farther too. So that's what we're gonna work on tonight, you guys. One reminder, there is just around 14 hours or so yet to enter the giveaway to win a giant cone of floss. It will be just like this guy here. So this is 2,100 meters of floss. So that's almost 6,600 or so feet of embroidery floss, of 6-strand embroidery floss. And it's kind of our little mascot here. It's been sitting behind me there for several months. And I'm offering it one for one of you guys. So be sure to click the link below and sign up for that. Joe, I think I'm doing the queen size, although, yeah, I think I'm going to do this full size. So I think it's 14 rows by 11 or 11 blocks, 14 blocks by 11 blocks, something like that. I know I'm doing the 14 row one. It's been a while, so at this point I'm just sewing together rows and seeing what ends up of it. I can't even remember. I think I did the larger size though, because I think I had just enough fabric for that. And I think the larger size was a queen, so I think we're doing a queen here. We'll see, I suppose. So, all right, I'm going to flip you around, and we'll get sewing tonight. Thank you again, guys, for joining me. All right, I got my rows here. So we finished rows 13, 14. I have them all labeled here. So I'm going to take 12 and 11. I'm kind of going from the bottom up, just because I'm going in whatever order this stack was. So, all right. So the even rows, I'm pressing the seams first. Oh, awesome, Nolene. All right, so for the even rows, I'm pressing all the rows down, but for the even rows, I'm starting on the side that has my label, which is the left side. And for the odd rows, I'm rotating it and still pressing down because that's easiest for me. But they will be flipped. So all the rows will be like bricked. They'll be, one will be to the left, one will be to the right, that sort of thing. What quilt size do I usually make? Let's see, what is a good answer to that? In my head, it's smaller quilts that, I could just have by the couch or something, but actually lately it has been kind of queen sizes and bigger, hasn't it? Maybe in my head I've always made quilts that are small, so I've switched to like big quilts over the years and haven't realized it. Because my jean quilt, that is going to be a very large queen size, like almost a king size, I think. Then, I finished the first Splendid Sampler quilt. That was a queen size. This is going to be a queen size. We did the chevron quilt. That was not a queen size. That was more of a twin size once I was done. The Charming chevron quilt. It was a nice, large twin. And I don't think I actually even planned a size for that. I think I just did however it turned out. No, I must have chose because Krista had choices for what to cut out. So it must have been a twin because I know it wasn't a queen. So that one was a twin. And then the I Love Home quilt by Jacqueline Steves, that was more of a lap quilt size. So I guess whatever I'm feeling at the time. Lately it has been maybe some of these larger quilts, but I did make a baby blanket too amongst all these other quilts. Maybe a couple baby blankets. Those I didn't really measure. Those I just kind of eyeballed to, whatever size it turned out. So I think all sorts of sizes. And I don't really have objective, or the size of the quilt isn't always the objective. There is always an objective. For the jean quilt that I don't have done yet, that was size. I wanted that to be a large quilt, larger than a queen size, because I wanted me and my husband to be underneath the quilt and not have the sides come up because it is cold. It gets cold and I don't want any air coming in there, so to stay warm. So I know that one for sure I made oversized, and that was one of the main purposes of it. But a lot of these other ones, like this one, was just because I had enough fabric for a queen, really, and I wanted to use up as much fabric as possible. And I think I couldn't have done any larger than a queen. I think I had just the exact amount with some finagling for a queen. So that's the only size parameter I had for that. All right, so I'm gonna press number 11 here. All right, so this is an odd one, so instead of pressing down from this side, I'm going to just rotate it all at 180, so that will make it press the other direction. Then we can nest the seams, and we'll do that next. So I'm pressing 2 rows, and then sewing them, and the sewing is going to be the test today, because last night we tried to fix the machine or see what was going on with it. It wasn't grabbing, or the feed dogs were going down weird, and I think they still kind of are, but we made the pressure on the needle less, so I'm hoping that is the solution we can live with for now. If it continues to be an issue, then I'll probably have to bring it in again, which I don't want to do, because I couldn't really see any way to putz around with it. Last night when we looked at it, there wasn't a screw loose or, some bar in the way, or there wasn't anything obvious, oh, well, this is out of place, from what I could, from my, whatever knowledge I have, which is, not much. So, but then it was also brought up, maybe that's how it was supposed to be the whole time, and I never knew because it was broken this whole time. Broken as in the feed dogs were stuck in the up position, so they'd still move, they'd still pull the fabric and move up and down, but I couldn't drop them, so I couldn't put them down so they stay down, which is what you want for free motion quilting. So it's kind of been frozen and stuck this whole time. So maybe it's how it's supposed to be now. I don't really know. So we're doing a test tonight. Every night is a an experiment in some way. So we are testing that logic of just loosening the tension, the pressure that the foot is putting on the fabric. Oh, bummer, Noli. Yeah, I know, this time change thing is just such a kicker. Did any of you guys hear the, I'm gonna start nesting these seams together now. 11's on top, and then 12 is the bottom. I just gotta say it out loud so I don't mess it up. So here we are. But did you guys hear that NPR story? This guy was talking about daylight savings time, and he was talking about the idea of no daylight savings time, but also no time zones, period. So, like, if it's 2 p.m., it is 2 p.m. everywhere in the world. So no one is ever guessing on the time. It is always just the standard mean time or whatever. That doesn't sound quite right, but like that single time zone. So, which would be fabulous from the sense of, you know, airplane flying and everyone would know what time it is all the time. The weird thing would be is that now, if you're used to eating lunch at noon, you might be eating lunch at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? So that would be the weird thing. It would be weird to get used to, you'd have to be just calling it lunch or afternoon or something like that. Or not even afternoon, you couldn't even say that. We would need a whole pile of new terms, and you'd have to get used to a whole lot of weird things. But let's say everyone got used to not associating a number time with morning or night or whatever. It would be a lot easier. So if you have a meeting at noon, that meeting's going to be at noon for everyone, no matter where they're at. And then all you would do is you'd have what they said on the show is like all you would have is like some app, which is like Google Earth basically, that shows, oh, that hemisphere is in the dark, so maybe we shouldn't schedule the meeting there because someone overseas is going to be part of that meeting. So let's scooch that meeting to, 3 p.m., which is morning for us and, afternoon for that person, Barbara, it wouldn't be like that because you would sleep when it's dark. Everyone, you'd still do that. But the time, like what you call dark, would just be, 11 a.m. instead of, midnight. So you just have to get used to times meaning a different thing. They're talking, though, that, China basically does this already because China is all one time zone. Even though, like, compared to the U.S., it probably should be divided up into a whole pile of time zones. So they already have to do something similar to this, like knowing, oh, it's 3 p.m., but I know over here it's not, it's going to be earlier than it is over there, even though it's the same time, Yes, so all of the owls have shipped, you guys. So, let's see, they shipped last week, so they should be, if you don't have them yet, then they should be really, really soon. And if you're worried, email me at info@penguinandfish, because they should all be out. But I can check. But yeah, those are all in the mail. Although it is early in the week yet, isn't it? So yeah, so it's probably coming. Because nothing, so Dawn got hers already. So nothing, ships on Sunday. So it might, I think the last of them I sent out on Friday. And they can take maybe 2 to 5 days-ish. But if you don't have them sometime this week, then for sure let me know. And I think there's you should have received tracking as well, and if not, I can send you that. That should be through PayPal, like a PayPal email with the tracking. But yeah, let me know if you don't get it. And with the big cone, we are going to have a big cone like pre-order coming up here later this week, I think. So I'll have an email out that I'll write tomorrow and send. They'll probably go out Thursday. But I am going to, for Penguin and Fish, I'm going to place an order for more giant cones that we just need for Penguin and Fish. And I thought I'd let you guys get in on that as well. So I am going to put the cone colors that I'll be getting up on my website, as well as an option of, if you know the DMC color that you want, even if it's not showing, if it's not one of my colors that I'm getting, you know, it's a different color that you know from, you know, your own stash that you would love to have more of a certain color, then if you give me the number code, I will place an order for that as well. So that'll be coming up. I'll also have a link in that email to the DMC site where they have a list of all the colors and you can see all the colors. So if there's some particular color there, you can look at the number. The giant cones, yes. So that's what I'm talking about, is these. You want a giant, giant cone of embroidery floss. This is like it's almost 7,000 feet. It's like 6,800 feet or so. That's what I'm talking about here. And so if you have a favorite color of DMC floss, I'll have an option for that too. So the trick is, DMC does not always have certain cones in stock. So after the pre-sale, then I'll know what all you guys want, if you want special colors, and then I will find out from them if they're available. Typically they are. But if not, I will let you know, and you can either pick a different color or I'll refund you. But that's how I thought I'd do it, just because I'm going to be buying from them anyway, and I thought, I know, there's people here that want those big cones too, so. Uh-oh, I'm one shy. I thought I had enough last time. This time I want one more here, so I'm going to just grab one from here. I know, that's the thing. No, I mean, that's why, and you know, I have to buy in bulk too, so DMC is raising the amount that I have to purchase all at once. So, oh, there was one more in here. Oh well. So I am gonna be not buying as often. So, you know, this is kind of like the opportunity now, because I'm not sure when I'll be getting the cones of floss again, because I'll be getting I'll be like doing a big order all at once, so I don't have to buy them again for a little while. All right, let's give this a try. So again, remember, we're testing to see if this will grab the fabric this time. It was oh, let's get a leader in there to start it out with. Oh, there is that pin that I lost on the ground. Okay, I'm glad I have my slippers on. I'm like, is there sand on the floor or something? Look, there it is. I thought I found it. Maybe there was another one on the ground. Oh my gosh. I just saved my foot just now. Like, what is my foot rolling on? Gosh, I don't even know what I was saying now. I'm like, what is that? Rogue pin. So it was a little scary. All right, so it's pulling these two layers of fabric. All right, I want to just to be sure. Okay, so the feed dogs are up. I forgot to like push them up before we started. Because remember, if I push down on them, then they go below the surface, and that's what we don't want. And so I've reduced the tension on the actual presser foot, so it's not pushing so hard on the plate. And it feels a ton better than it did on Friday. That it wasn't moving at all, so the foot wasn't grabbing at all. Now it is. Oh, I forgot. I have to watch these corner points here. I actually have to watch those corner points more than if my seams are actually matching up, because the seams are all white. So ultimately, it's just going to look like a whole lot of white. Whereas if I clip one of these corners, or one of these points, I mean, you know, you'll notice that more. I'm just like running my stiletto along the edge so I can feel where it meets up. That's kind of what I'm aiming for, because there's a point on the opposite side here. All right, I feel like this is working so far. So what my worry is that if I have a really thick seam here, like if we're working on, I don't know, some paper piecing thing and I got a huge seam, is that thickness of the seam going to push down on these feet, the feed dogs? Like, is that going to mess them up? But for just these couple layers of fabric, it seems to be working so far. Oops, I dropped everything in my lap on the floor. Let's scooch this up again. The one thing I really... Oh, I didn't even grab it here. I just grabbed the top layer. The one thing I wish... I mean, I love this machine. This is the one that I'm used to using. But the one thing that's so nice about that black sewing machine, the steampunk machine, is that that's all metal, and this has a magnet on the bottom, and this would just stick right to there. This doesn't. This is like aluminum or something. I don't know. But it doesn't have the magnetic ability, which I love on the other machine. So I'm happy this is working today, because I should check the tension before I say that, right? Before I jinx myself. Yeah, everything's looking fine. Yeah. But I'm glad this is working, because I'd like to get another one of these done tonight, a couple rows done, not just the one. But on Friday, that's where we discovered the issue working on this. Oh, you guys, did you see that Bet's White? She is doing the Little Felt Village, and we just finished that spooky clock tower. She released Winterville, the start of Winterville, so she released her first little house for winter, and it is freaking cute. Oh, it looked like this was down. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that could be with the foot. Yeah, you know what? It was kind of wiggly before, and now it's not as much. Who knows? Maybe I just never knew this machine, and I was working with it not working properly. That could very likely be the case. So it'll be like learning a whole new machine. Oh yeah, you can mark your 1/4 inch. I didn't do that this time, just because I kind of know on this machine if I'm halfway in between this feed dog hole, then that's my 1/4 inch. So I kind of have my little own guide for this machine, just because I've used it a ton. So I'm just aiming for kind of the center of that line. And actually with this presser foot, if I go right on the edge here, this is my 1/4 inch foot for quilting, and that edge is right kind of in the middle of that feed dog line where I know is my good 1/4 inch in theory. I could put my postcard back on here, that would be helpful, but we're just sticking with this for a little. I was thinking it might be fun. I still like the business card. I still want to put that back there. Maybe I will. But when we do this floss cone sale, I thought it'd be fun to, we could do some little Christmassy or holiday type things. We could do make some like tassel garland or something out of it. It would be kind of a fun way to use some floss up. We'll see. I made that tassel for or some tassel jewelry, like tassel necklaces or something. That'd be kind of fun. But I made that tassel for that computer sleeve, and now I've been having tassels on the brain. Oh no, Robin! Sorry to hear that. Not the 50, just the cataracts. That's not fun. Yeah, it'd be a long garland if we used up all the thread. All right, I'm gonna just grab the leader from this side, and we'll use that. All right, well, we made it through a row. That's, better than expected, I suppose. All right. Let's snip that and take a look. All right, so that is row 11 to 12. Okay, so 11 to 12. We're still in the right order. I didn't screw that up yet, so that's good. Let's just peek. Yeah, our points are decent. You know what? I almost just don't want to peek. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Let's fold this up and move on. So this is, I have a stack going. Here's our first one. Here's 13, 14. I mean, should we just sew these two together while we're at it? Let's do that. They're already pressed. So let's just sew these two. Let's make a set of 4. Why not? Then I don't have to iron again, and we can feel like we got a big chunk done tonight. That would be cool. All right, 11 to 12, 13, 14. So we're going to get bulkier and bulkier here. That's the annoying part. But maybe we do it in chunks of 4. I think there's 14 rows. So that's a bunch of chunks of 4, but still. Actually, just 3 chunks of 4 and then a row of 2. So, all right, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, so we're going to flip this around. So now our rows should still nest because we are doing the evens one way and the odds one way. So let's get these together again. lay this flat so I can just match up the end here. Yeah, with one row at a time. So, meaning that surgery and recovery is two separate. That would be good. Then you can at least see a little bit, but I don't know, hopefully you feel better after at least. Maybe you'll be able to super sew when that's all done. Alright, I'm kind of unfolding this at the same time, so I just have a bulky mess here. I am kind of, oh gosh, I bent this one awfully weird. Let's do that one again. There. I'm getting one in the middle here too, because remember, a lot of these are on the bias. Gosh, I clipped that one funny too. So the top layer might be more stretchy than the bottom layer. So the more clips, the better, I kind of think. But I don't want to go overboard either, so I'm just doing, we're doing two. One at the nested seams, and then one in the middle. The first thing I read, though, when you said, this is horrible, but Barbara, when you wrote it too, but like the first thing you said, when you said getting cataracts removed, the way I read it is that you had to get your eye removed or your eyes removed. I'm like, what? No! So at least it's not that, right? That would not be great. Oh, I'm excited to get one more row, or one more bit sewn here tonight. Yeah, I thought you were like, I turned 50 and they told me I have to get my eyes removed. That was my initial read, and I'm like, I had to read that again. That's not great. That's not a way to speed read. Well, I'm sending sparkles your way, Robin. Ooh, gosh, this one is stretchy and different on the top and the bottom. We'll have to check on that. Exactly, Barbara. Oh, God. So this was kind of part of the challenge that I wanted to do with this quilt that I decided on last Friday, for Finish It Friday. It's like, can I do this pressing and this big bulky sewing in my small little space? And so far, it's been okay, which is great because it's such a barrier, like a mental barrier for me to have to set up the other big sewing board or the ironing board and set up everything somewhere else or whatever. It's gonna get done if I don't have to jump through any hoops, right? So that I'm able to do it right here in my small little spot is comforting, for sure. And so far, so good. Yeah, Robin, me too. Yeah, should make sure to tell him, take the cataracts, but leave my eyes in, please. Yeah. Oh,
Alright, we are almost to the end here. We got like maybe 4 more of these to go. It's getting a little bulky and annoying here, but it's not too bad. It's just like working in these small sections that's helpful. That I just have to clip 2 and clip 1 in the middle. That's nice. Versus like a border where it'd be one big strip with nothing lining up, then I'd have to like do the ends in the middle, and then the middle of that, and the middle of that. That would have been a little trickier on in my little surface here. But this, where I just have these small areas that meet up. Oh, I am not sure, Valerie. I would just, if you have the top done, I would just try and calculate from your top. Like just measure how tall and wide it is. And fabric, quilting weight fabric, you know, which is what's on the bolt at most quilt stores, that's typically 42 inches wide. So you're going to want a few inches overhang. So you got to add in like an extra, I don't know, 3 inches or so at least. And then you're going to most likely have to, depending on the size of your quilt, sew at least two of those 42-inch chunks together. It's a math situation. So you could do 2 big rows for the back, or you could turn it on its side and maybe do 3 like that. But quilting weight fabric is typically 42 inches wide, if that helps at all. I am not sure what the instructions say for it. All right, this is our last clippity clip. All right, let's sew this. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna reduce my stitch length a little. So maybe this was never pulling quite right, because, oops, that's already on. I just want to get this in the up position again, just to push this up. Yep, it's still up. But my stitch length, that I have it on 10, and that seems to be bigger than what I'm used to with it being set at 10, which is 1/10 of an inch, I believe, is how that works. So I put it on 12. Let's see if the stitches, well, they should get a little bit smaller, but let's just see how it goes. But it's funny, the 10 seems bigger than I'm used to. All right, so a little less tension on the foot pressure. Less pressure, not tension, I suppose. Seems to be working tonight. Happy about that. Oh, nice. So Barbara says if you use the Robert Kaufman app on the iPhone or whatever, you can put in the dimensions at the top and it'll tell you how much fabric for the back. That's a nice little trick. Guessing that's most likely a free app. I would be surprised if it wasn't. All right, we're still looking good. The 1/12 of an inch, I do like that much better. Oh, Kathy says, yes, it's free. So Kathy says, love that app, and yes, it's free. Hey, Leah, welcome, welcome. Nice seeing ya. Ooh, all right. Ooh, got a little too many threads there. I'm kind of pulling on it. It's bubbling out here. I'm just kind of grabbing it from underneath and kitty scratching a little bit and aligning my edges again. Oop, the best I can. This is one where it's pretty bulky on the one side. Yeah, Barbara says it's a free app as well. Why don't I have that app? I need to download that too. That feels like something like on my list, like download the Robert Kaufman app, and just never got done. Yay, we're gonna have a whole set of 4 done here. I'm stoked about that. It's gonna actually start feeling like a quilt now. We'll start to see if I messed up anywhere, like if I didn't rotate something correctly. It's not rotated correctly now. It's one of these blocks. It's gonna stay rotated how it is. We'll check it out when I'm done here tonight, when I'm done with this row. So I'd like to keep working on this this week at least. Get more of these rows. I'm feeling the quilt top happening. Like it's happening here. But I think right now, after sewing these 4 together, we're gonna really start feeling like a quilt top. So I'll open it up and show you guys where we're at. Oh, gosh, there's a lot of just stretchy areas on this one. Oh, well. Oh, you know what it is? Maybe it's because, we're matching different rows now. Maybe on the other ones, the stretchy side was on the bottom. Oh, no, it seems to trade off. I haven't been really paying attention to my points either, but whatever. So I kind of have this thought on the quilting of this. It may be ridiculous, but maybe not. I was thinking since the back is going to be all one color, that on the back you'll probably be able to see the quilting really well, right? Because it's all going to be one color. Nothing's going to hide any of the quilting. So I was thinking of maybe quilting it with the front down, which maybe isn't a great idea. But I was thinking it'd be fun to draw like a whole scene on the back with like water-soluble pens, like, birds and the sunshine and clouds or something, like some whole scene, right? And then like quilt that somehow. So if you on the front, it'll just look like quilting. I mean, you're gonna look at the patterns and the triangles on the front, but on the back, it'll be like this whole, nature cutesy scene or something. I honestly have no idea how I would do that, but we can do something where we draw it out, and then we can like echo every single shape, and then fill it in with dense or not as dense areas, and I don't know. I think it'd be kind of a silly, kind of fun challenge. Kind of drawing it all out beforehand. Although that might be totally crazy. Or maybe if it's not even a whole scene, maybe it's a kind of a largish motif. Like what if it was a smiley sunshine that was this big and we repeated that all over the quilt and then filled in all the spaces in between. Like something like that would be kind of fun too. But I don't know. Thinking that's where my brain's at right now as far as the quilting. The only trick is, the top would be flipped underneath, so I don't know if that's gonna cause any technical issues with the quilting. I don't know. And we are not that far yet anyway, so it doesn't quite matter yet, but, you know, in the back of my head, I'm not thinking about it. We're almost done. Oh, see, that's an option too. You patched your extra fabric in the back. Oh, I usually like doing that, and I do have a lot of extra fabric. But I think this one I was just gonna do all green. I don't know. I forgot about that option too. May have to figure out how to get a bunch of the scraps in the back yet, just because I really do like doing that. All right, oh, this guy's done, so I need a new one anyway. All right, let's get a new leader. We're back to this goofy. These are all old shirts and old blankets that I'm sewing together. I'm gonna end up making. If you guys don't know what I'm doing with these leaders, I'm sewing a whole pile of half square triangles. So here's a half square triangle will be on this side, then you'll cut down the middle, and then there'll be a half square triangle on this side. And I'm gonna sew them all together. So this is like a magic quilt, just by having it being my start and stop. It is gonna be its own little quilt at some point. I figured why not? I'll be putting a edge on here anyway. So I am not going to do a border. I am just going to bind the edge. So it'll just go right up to the edge, and then there'll be that really thin, bright green binding, which will act as like a thin border, basically. So I think that's my plan, is just to not do any border, mostly because I just want it kind of done. But I like that idea. Like, it's going to look really kind of slick with that just tiny green frame, I think. Close this so it doesn't dump everywhere. Oh, yeah, I could do some applique on the background. Oh, that'd be fun. We're going to have to... there's ideas there, for sure. All right, I'm going to flip you guys around, and we will open this up and take a look at it here. All right, I'm going to just push this way back. And let's hold this up and see what's happening here. Okay. It's gonna start looking like a quilt. Oh gosh, it's really wide. But all right, so I can't get back farther. Here is the 4 rows here. They just fit in the screen. It's looking cute. All right, let's just shimmy across. Gosh, it really is wide. So I think it's, what was it, like maybe 12 across and 14 down or something? I don't even remember. It's looking cute though. All right, and then the green, just to show you guys again, this is that green that I want for the background. So, and for the binding. So the binding will just be, you'll just see that tiny edge. And I think that'll just be like a really kind of slick kind of frame for this. So that's the big, it's like super bright green. But awesome, you guys. All right, I will fold that up. That's our first set of 4. We will have 3 sets of 4. That'll give us the 12. And then we'll have a set of 2, which will be the 14. And this is assuming my memory is correct, that there is 14 rows. Oh yeah, there is, because they're numbered. There's 14 rows. There's for sure 14 rows. That's why it's in my head, just because we numbered it. But yeah, so we'll do, I like doing it that way. We'll sew 2 sets of 2, sew them together, make a set of 4. Got 3 of those to do. So we're just about a third done with this top. Awesome. So thanks, you guys. Again, be sure to sign up for that giveaway to win a giant cone of floss. That's the link below here. And after you sign up, there are other ways to enter as well. And yeah, I will be offering the chance to purchase them too if you want a different color. So keep in mind any DMC color that you like. I will have my normal penguin and fish colors that I normally buy on there as well. So keep an eye out for that in your emails later this week. And I'll let you guys know here as well. So awesome. Have a great evening, and I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. Good night.